Hello everyone, Avery here, Southern Fried Knowledge. I thought I'd do a little quick conversation while we walked around. Talked about how our vacation's going. It's almost over. As of the recording of this, it is Monday, June the 22nd or 21st or something like that. Tuesday, tomorrow about 11:30, we get on a plane in Seattle and fly back. We'll be wheels down in Atlanta. Almost 10 o'clock, 9:45 I think we're wheels down. If y'all want to hear an interesting story about how our perfect vacation turned into a trip from hell. I'm 65 and this is the worst vacation I've ever participated in. Then just listen up. I know y'all like 15 seconds, but you might like this story. And we'll throw in some little fun things and notes while we walk around and look around on this little scenic trail here. Anybody watch Yellowstone? Any Yellowstone viewers out there? Here's something of note. If I can zoom in on this, that kind of looks like a grave, don't it? Now let's walk right over here, away from this grave, and let me show you something. If you've watched Yellowstone, you're gonna know right where this is going. That's the train station. That must have been the first grave. That was it. Hold for a moment. Yes, folks, that is the infamous train station. It's not in Wyoming, it's in Seattle, Washington. Y'all didn't know that. I just taught you something. We've got people walking down there on the train station trails. There's no trespassing signs all over the place from now, so it might be a zombie. A lady just come walking back up from this trail up under this bridge, and I hear people actually talking under there, so I think we'll move on. The motel we're staying at right now, at night, we'll make that stop. At night, the motel we're staying in has zombies. Ooh, I think there's a homeless encampment under there. It's starting to look like it. I think I'll just move on away from this. The very inspiring looking bridge back there, isn't it? Well, there's homeless people in it, I think. This one just come out from under the bridge to go out there and use the forest facilities. All right, let's move around a little bit while we talk. There's some pretty good sized trees right there, huh? Center? Hey, center. That's a big tree right there. Big tree right there. Some pretty good sized trees here, folks. Let's get to our story. Let's just say, and I know I'm going to forget some things. I just wanted to talk about what happened on this adventure to turning into a bad adventure. So, how does our story go from being a perfectly planned vacation to a colossal nightmare? Don't say no trespassing here. I might can go around. I don't know. Maybe I won't get locked up. That would just add more fun to this adventure from hell. Let's see if we can take the low road and stay away from the traffic while I tell y'all my tale of horror and terror. Well, here goes. So, way back, we took all the precautions. We took all the precautions on take it for a trip. I need the sun in my face to do that, don't I? So we'll just keep y'all looking over here. We took all the precautions. We got our passports updated. We was going international. Check. We got our TSA pre-check. I've never done that before. We bought those. It's like $75 or $80 a piece. They look like they tie people up to these trees down here. I don't know if you can see that rope. There's sacrificial elements going on down here at night or something. Ooh, here's some pretty foliage. I'm trying to show y'all something while we're telling y'all the tale. So, we did, ooh, that is a pretty flower over there. I can't get to it. It's a big old fluffy white one through the briars that would probably eat me alive. I think that's our hotel over there. I believe. Looks kind of like it. I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, all the precautions. Updated passports. TSA pre-checks. $80 a piece. Bam, bam, snap, crackle. We had COVID shots back in the fall. We've always had our COVID shots on time. Kept up. I never had COVID. The wife's had it a couple years ago. She got it, so we had her COVID shots. We was taking the zinc supplements. All B. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, this is some big old leaves right there now. Anyway, so we did all of that preparations. I planned everywhere, all the excursions, everything on the ship, before the ship. We was landing. The cruise was from Saturday morning to the next Saturday morning, the 14th to the 21st of June, 2025. We landed in Vancouver on Wednesday the 11th. Pretty early in the day. It was about noon when we got out of the airport. Noon local Vancouver time. There's so many pretty flowers. I wish I could get over there. Those things look pretty, but there's thousands of deadly weeds between here and there. If I see one close, I'll try to get to it. So we had a couple of days, nice activities planned that we could see things and explore. And so we got there Wednesday. Don't remember exactly what all we did Wednesday. Thursday, we rented a car from Canada Place, which is where they parked the boat at. Holland America Koningsdam was our ship. That's where the boat was going to be parked at. That looks like a Rotate-O-Matic for putting bodies on and twisting and barbecuing people, don't it? I'm telling you folks, you don't want to come out here at night inside that motel at night. Oh, there's the robe of a dead person that was gutted. Oh my God, this is going to be an interesting story. Like I said, I'm going to try to get the funny things in here too. There's a big tree right there. I don't know if y'all can see how big that doggone tree is right there. It's pretty big. So, this is going to be 3 hours, ain't it? I'll try to edit it out. So, we had all the preparations made. I had all my Alaska excursions planned. I had stuff planned before the trip departed. I had stuff planned for this period right here, before we got on the boat. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, we went and rented a car on Thursday before the cruise for one day. We drove to a See the Sky gondola. Had a good adventure up there. A gondola that took way up in the mountains. Did that. Let's see. There was a little blip there. Okay, wait a minute. We're gonna have to back this puppy up. Our first blip was at the airport, because I did mention we had the TSA pre-flight, pre-check, whatever. Yeah. For some reason, it only showed up on one of our tickets. On mine, did not show up on my wife's ticket. I thought we was flying Delta, because we usually do. It was a subsidiary of Delta. Watched the videos on there, and it's kind of a podunk airline. You should see the thing that separates first class and the rest of us riffraff that's sitting in the back behind them. A little shower curtain. No movies in flight, none of that stuff. But because we only had one, we went through the wrong line to start with. Then we found out only one of us had the pre-check, and the people doing the check, the security, whatever you want to call the guards or border patrols or whatever, some of them was pretty rude. I said, look, we have pre-check. Said it's not on hers. Anyway, they was just being ugly. They made her take her shoes off. They went through her backpack. She had a small pair of sewing scissors in her backpack. That took 5 or 10 minutes. Not a big thing, not in comparison to this trip. So we got through that, made it. Next day, we doing the See the Sky gondola. We did that, no problemo. Went to a copper mine, an abandoned copper mine, and toured that. That was interesting and amazing. That was Thursday. Yeah, that was Thursday. Okay. Later that night, here's where the first big blipper hit. Here it goes. The thing I'm holding in my hand is a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera system. I've got, most of it. It come with a kit when I bought it. It was a little over $1,000, I think. Yeah, with the warranty, extended warranty and all that. So the things are about $900. I've had it since January of 2025. trying to get this struggling YouTube channel going. And thanks whoever that was that just subscribed. I mean, I'm up to 30 now after 6 months. That's good. I mean, I've been sitting there on the edge of my seat looking at 29, 29, 29, 30. I've seen 30 just last night. I've got another subscriber. Maybe some of these adventures and misadventures and warnings and jokes and stuff will pick it up a little bit more. Who knows? But so anyway, we did that. I was downloading the content onto my laptop. Had a nice place we stayed in Vancouver. Very nice place. I got some shots from there and probably done posted it. Like that place. Wasn't the plugins exactly wherever I wanted them. I was plugged into my laptop. The DJI camera was sitting on a little arm next to the, wasn't on the couch, but it was next to it, a little outshoot from the wall, about 18 inches high. I got it to unplug my laptop and move it to the bedroom, and the cord's only like 2 foot. I tripped over the cord. The DJI fell head first. This is a pivoting head camera up on the top of this thing. Head first, hit the tile floor and damaged it where it would not work. It's shooting sideways and out of focus. Panic mode ensues. We planned this whole big trip. I wanted to boost my viewership and subscribers, and what in the heck is going on here? Well, I didn't see that a minute ago. Is there somebody here? Maybe. Hello? Is there people living in this tree? I don't know. I did not see that debris there a moment ago. Seems to be a lot of debris here. We better hurry up our little talk before I get killed down here. It don't seem to be a lot of traffic down here other than that lady I've seen shooting off in the woods a while ago and one come out from under the bridge. So, where was it? DJI fell. Damaged head. I do have the extended coverage warranty on that one, but the whole purpose, well, not the whole purpose of this trip, it was a nice family vacation, but I had really intended for this DJI to shine like a star, you know, and get great videos and get my subscriptions up and get it closer to where I might be able to make some money. You got to have 1,000 subscribers, and I'm at 30 after 6 months, so that's not happening yet, folks. Please like and subscribe. I will try to make it most enlightening for you. So that one's damaged. This is Thursday. We leave on our cruise on Saturday. So panic mode ensues. It's Thursday evening. I start looking online. It seems to be only one Best Buy in all of Vancouver, Canada, that had some of these DJI cameras. I didn't want the whole kit. You get the bundle that's got the carrying case and all the extra attachments and all. I just needed the camera. Had a couple attachments, but just a camera. Found one. In the middle of all of that, our phones did not work in Vancouver. So the afternoon before, we had to find a place that had a local SIM card. I couldn't get any calls in Canada. We had just switched over to Consumer Cellular, and I checked on that, and they said the only way you can get international calling on that is if you let them know 2 weeks before you travel. We was in the trip, so that didn't work. So I bought a SIM card. While I'm paying for it, it's $25. That's not bad. I was fortunate to find one. We needed the SIM card to even call cabs. I couldn't call anyone. There's no phone in the apartment. Nobody has landlines. We needed a phone to be able to move around in Vancouver and communicate with people. So I got the local SIM card. Would not make international calls. Would not receive. We have been able to text the whole time. For whatever reason, you can still text. So that kind of helped us out of a few jams on this trip. I wish I had a bench or something I could sit on. I think I'm going to set my butt down a minute. If I don't get in trouble here with some kind of fungus. I'm going to sit right here for just a minute and talk. I'm spinning around so you ain't looking at me the whole time. We'll go walking in just a minute. I just got to sit because my back is, my lower back is really bothering me today. I got a patch on it. So we got the SIM card. So we was able to call an Uber on Friday morning. Go and get another. Even though I had a warranty, I can fix it later, but I can't fix it now, so I bought another DJI camera. Wasn't cheap. I didn't buy the whole kit, but I bought the extended warranty on that one in case something else happens. So far it hasn't. Keep your fingers crossed, folks, because everything else has. Anyway, so we got the DJI. That killed. We was supposed to have been going to a restaurant that's themed kind of pop culture, like an old 50s style restaurant that had an Elvis table, a Marilyn Monroe table, stuff like that. I wanted to go there because my wife really likes Elvis Presley, so we was going to go there. We'd seen some other vloggers. Thank you, Will and Don from Yankee in the South. We was going to go there, but we didn't get to do that Friday morning because we was in panic mode to find this camera. And we also didn't get to do our hop-on, hop-off buses. I paid for that, and I don't remember, I want to say that was about $120 to $150. So we lost out that money. We did get to do the float planes, the seaplanes, Harbor Air seaplanes. That was a great experience. That was Friday. I'm trying to fast forward to mostly the bad things, but try to throw in that we did have some fun on this horrific trip. Saturday morning, we got on the boat. We did embarkation. We got in really quick. We did not think we was going to, but we did. We got on board way faster than we ever thought we would. That was amazing how quick we got through all the security and check-ins, and you got to walk here and walk there and walk there. But it was a breeze. It was pretty quick. I'm telling y'all, it was. What's that? Giant zombie ants crawling down the crack of my butt. I don't know. I'm really nervous for all the things that has happened. Hopefully nothing's going to happen to me here. There goes people riding a bike. So, turning around a minute. So we got through embarkation day. That was Saturday. Sunday was a sea day. We're traveling to Juneau. I don't remember anything really bad happening Sunday other than the elevators on the cruise ship are pure living hell. I won't go into all of that right now, but elevators on the cruise ship are pure living hell. Time or two when I got in the elevator and it stops on there's 14 floors. It stops on every floor, and at least 5 more people get in, and the elevator don't hold but 6 people, so you start doing the math. We're on the 5th floor. They start backing in. I'm crushed against the wall. I mean, literally, the guy's pressing me into wallpaper. It's just, I can do stairs. I was doing stairs a lot. Wife would not do but 1 floor stairs at the time. She just wouldn't do it. So it kind of put us at odds with trying to figure out how can I get up and down. We can't get to an elevator. There's people waiting. The doors are opening. They're packed full like sardines. You can't use elevators. So let's get over the elevator thing. That was a sea day. Monday was Juneau. Okay? So Monday. Oh wait, let me get up and walk out a little bit. Give y'all something to look at besides this ugly mug. Monday. Monday was Juneau. We got there early. We had like 30 minutes till we departed on a multi-tiered excursion. We was going to Mendenhall Glacier. That was great. We was going to a whale watching. That was great. We was going to some lodge on the boat that did the whale watching. That boat took us to a nice lodge to eat. They had a prepared meal for it. They served us. It's kind of like a buffet, but you didn't dip your own food. So the very first thing when we got, this one's kind of funny. When we got to Juneau, we only had about 30 minutes before we had to meet up at the excursion point and jump on a tour bus. And I didn't know it. Here's a joke for y'all. Ladies don't get mad, wife don't get mad. But this is the joke. Do y'all know why Godzilla destroyed Tokyo? He's like stomping it and just crushing everything. I'll tell you why. Godzilla was looking for Diet Mountain Dew. Because my wife, the time she stepped off the gangplank in Juneau, turned into a monster. Godzilla style. Must have Diet Dew. Need caffeine. So I go on all balls out looking for Mountain Dew. This woman's about to blow her top. Long story short, I found her a Mountain Dew. I love my wife. It's just, it's just funny. I never really noticed when I come home in Covington and there's this giant stack of Mountain Dew right by the front door that goes all the way up to the ceiling. It looks like we got Mountain Dew wallpaper. I didn't know that's what was keeping our marriage together. I did not know that. It's Mountain Dew, folks. Here's another fact you probably don't know. They don't have a lot of Mountain Dew in Canada or Alaska. There's some other things they don't have in Canada, and I'll get more on that later. So, we got our Mountain Dew. We went to Mendenhall Glacier. Mendenhall Glacier, we only had 40 minutes there, and there's a trail that's supposed to be the most lovely, gorgeous views, but it's a 1 hour walk. 1 hour there and back if you jog. We can't jog them 65, sorry folks, and we only have 40 minutes. So we went to the short version viewing, did that okay, come back to wait on the bus outside the curb, because there's every bus in America was trying to pick people up here. She said she'd be back in 40 minutes exactly. It was not. It wound up being about an hour and 20 minutes. She was running late. In the middle of us standing out there on the curb, even the locals, even back when we got to the tour of the whale watching tour, they said that was the worst storm they've seen in years. This thing blew up out of nowhere. You could see it rolling over the mountains. It looked like something off of the Sci-Fi Channel, the end of the world doomsday storm. The winds were blowing 70 miles an hour. I'm almost positive they were. There was tree limbs blowing. Signs was blowing over. Later we heard another boat. There was 4 boats hooked up, anchored or whatever you call it. Anyway, there was 4 tour ships in Juneau. One of them broke loose from the moorings. It was a celebrity cruise, I think. Broke loose from the moorings. So that's how serious that storm was. Ours didn't. Anyway, so we made that, got through the storm, run across the road because there was limbs blowing, stayed in there was one little cement structure there, and we got up under that shelter. It was like a bus stop kind of on the other side of where we was at and waited for. So got through that, made it to the whale excursion, saw some whales. That was great fun. Went to the little lodge that prepped us some food. They had 2 choices of entrees. This is where it gets a little funky. I think had something to do with our bad problems, but maybe not. They had salmon, which I wanted to try, and they had prime beef or steak or something, because it was cut up in big strips. It looked like prime beef or whatever you call it. So the wife got a piece of the prime. I got the salmon. The girl that was dipping the salmon actually put some salmon on my wife's plate. She didn't want it, so I ate 2 helpings of salmon. I say all that to say that. And we made it back. Let me skip that a minute. We made it back to Juneau very late. It was 15 minutes before the boat left. All the stores were closed, even if we weren't 15 minutes. I don't know when they closed, but it was pushing 9 o'clock, which it was still daylight because it don't get dark till 10:30 or 11 o'clock up there. The wife was very mad she didn't get to shop in Juneau any. I mean, we did get her a Mountain Dew, but she was mad about that. We did miss a whole port. That's not our fault. That's I'd call that on our cruise ship for not lining up their tour groups a little better. We was late after every stop, and it just kept getting worse. So we made it back to Juneau, got on the boat. This is where it started. It's almost ready to turn into an ugly, ugly thing. Middle of the night, Monday night, I had the worst cramps I've ever had. Now, here it comes. I had the worst cramps I've ever had in my stomach. I was actually having leg cramps. I woke up originally with acid reflux. I do have that. I took something for it. That eased off a little bit. I didn't sleep well that night. Several different things woke me up. An hour later, the worst leg cramp I've ever had in my entire life woke me up. Later the next morning, I actually had a cramp in my throat. A big knot come up on my throat. I've never had a cramp in my throat, but I had a cramp in my throat. Explain that one. Maybe what I'm going to tell you in just a few minutes, a few moments, might explain that, because I've never had that either. But anyway, I thought I had a bad case of food poisoning. I still think that salmon had something to do with that. Tuesday was Skagway. I was not doing good. I was trying my best, hoping I would get diarrhea and get some of that stomach stuff out of me. Tuesday was what I thought was going to be our greatest excursion, because we didn't really have a whole lot lined up for Ketchikan, which was Thursday. Tuesday was going to be my fave. I know the whale watching was my wife's. It was a train ride up through or down back from the mountains. Sightseeing train ride like the coal miners went up to the Yukon during the gold rush. It was all of that. It was beautiful up there. But it's not so beautiful when your stomach's all messed up. So when we sat on the bus to take the ride, because we had to take the ride up and then rode back down the mountain. So it was a pretty long ride in a bus. We had to cross the border. We had to go into Canada again. They come on board and check everybody's passports and such. But the very first stop, they stopped to let us out to look at some scenic stuff. I had to stay on the bus. There was a bathroom on the bus. A lady with a little kid, and they stayed on there the whole time. They didn't come on till just before the bus started back up. I jumped in there and I got rid of some of my pain a little bit. Okay. Then we made it to the train. Fast forward. Got on the train. I would make sure we sat close to the bathroom. Everybody had to hit the bathroom on that train, so I had to wait and hold it a time or two. Again, I go on the train a time or two. Get back to Skagway, and wife wanted to look in some souvenir places, and I don't blame her. I wanted to too. We went in there and looked around. I looked about 3 or 4 minutes, and the stomach pain hit me, the one you've been waiting on. And I told her, I said, if I don't come back, I'll be on the boat. I got to go find a bathroom. Did find one across the street. I left them a huge present there. And I felt a little better. I still felt bad. I felt bad. My body was hurting. Everything was hurting. Made it back. I walked on back. She come on back later. She was still shopping. I told her to shop, but she couldn't help me feel better. I would make it back to the boat, and I did. It wasn't that far from Skagway to walk over to get on the boat. I got on the boat. Everything was good. Wednesday, I felt really bad. Couldn't leave my room at all Wednesday. Wednesday was a sea day. We was going to the Glacier National Park. Fortunately, we had the veranda, the porch view, where I could go out a few times during the day, sit on the porch, get some cold air blowing on me a little bit. We had amazing weather there, except for that one storm. I mean, the weather was great with us. But anyway, I did get to see the glaciers while that was, 3-4 hours looking around at the glaciers. And then we was going to head back for Thursday, was going to be Ketchikan. All right, fast forward, I made it through that day okay. Thursday, we got to Ketchikan, and because our phone was working, because it was in American soil in Alaska, I touched base with my daughter and told her I'd been sick, and because we supposed to be meeting up with my daughter and her husband. They was going to be staying with his brother and sister-in-law for 2 or 3 days, and the wife and I was going to stay at said motel right over there. Only thing we had for Ketchikan was a lumberjack show. We went and saw that. It was pretty good. My stomach hadn't been running off like it had been. I felt a little better. I was still coughing some. By this point, Thursday, probably by noon, the wife was coughing. And we talked to my daughter on the phone saying, well, I got food poisoning now. She's got something. And my daughter says, have y'all checked for COVID? Hadn't really crossed our mind. We did bring a COVID kit because we thought of everything. We brought 2 COVID kits apiece. Thursday afternoon, we checked for COVID. And both of us have it. So, anyway, fast forward to right now. This is, there's much more to happen in this story. That's not the worst of it yet, y'all. That's probably the worst thing that happened the whole time. But there's more bad luck things. So yes, we're positive for that. Our motel right now. We've been masking up, getting around people. I mean, I didn't know we had it when we was in Ketchikan. Both of our defenses, I thought I had a stomach bug. Now what that means is I didn't get to visit my daughter. I hadn't seen her in over a year. She lives in Portland, Oregon. She was going to drive up to Seattle, which is a couple hours drive. We were going to see sights of Seattle. I done bought them the City Pack tickets to see all kind of nice attractions where it's not really what we were seeing. It was me spending time with my daughter. I wanted to see her really, really, really bad. So that didn't get to happen. And the people she was staying with, that girl had weak immunities, which I have weak immunities. I'm surprised I didn't get COVID before. Lucky, I guess, then, not now. Anyway, so obviously I wasn't going to spend any time with my daughter if I'm going to risk giving her something like this. So we didn't do that. We had all the stuff it was like for 4 people for 5 different things. Now the wife and I masked up and stayed away from people. We did go to the Space Needle. We supposed to have been Space Needle, and then you could come back that night for one of your 5 things and see it, but we didn't stay there that long. We did the Space Needle. We did Chihuly's glass, because that's my favorite thing that my wife wanted to do there out of all of that. She loves the blown glass, and I like it too. It's amazing. We had a good time there. And we did Mopop. The most amazing piece of art I've ever seen in my entire life was at Mopop. You'll have to watch my videos to see. If you know me, you might have a clue what that amazing piece of art would be. And also, I saw the guitar that Jimi Hendrix played at Woodstock and did the Star Spangled Banner. And I was trying to explain this. It must have something to do with COVID, or am I that damn crazy? I'm trying, and I got my mask on, and I'm trying to explain to my wife the significance of this guitar and what it meant to rock and roll history. And I start crying like a little girl. I can't even tell her I'm crying. She said, "I didn't know you liked Jimi Hendrix that much." I said, "Well, not really, but he is arguably was the best guitar player ever." I said, "I'll give you this, he's the best left-handed guitarist in the world, but it's just being that close to history just broke me up. Something about guitars. You should see my amazing piece of art. Nothing like it in the world." I even commented that I have seen the Mona Lisa in Paris, France at the Louvre. I've seen it. It paled. It was a piece of crap. It was a flaming piece of dirt dauber doo-doo compared to this piece of art. Y'all got to see that video when we went to Mopop the day we was in Seattle. We had 2 days of that lined up. We was going back today. I'm skipping something, but I'll get back to it in a minute. The border crossing was, I forgot that one. That was interesting. The border crossing. I should call it the triple border crossing. Yes. Anyway, so we didn't go to the aquarium today. We was going to go to the fish market today in Seattle, and I was going to go to the famous bubblegum wall where everybody takes the gum out of their mouth and sticks bubblegum to a wall. I know, Grace, my wife says, but I thought I would go find me a couple of grungy record stores and check them out. None of that happened, so, which I woke up this morning and my back is hurting really bad. I couldn't win anyway. We decided we better chill out because we're getting on a plane tomorrow. So let's go back to that border crossing. Saturday when the boat landed and we departed, there's a little bit more to that Saturday thing, yeah. So, Saturday the boat comes back to Canada Place. We went back to the same place to rent a car. But let's back up a little bit on that boat. 2 or 3 days earlier, they said, "Do you want to self-unload your luggage or do you need assistance?" Well, we knew we couldn't get on an elevator, and we had a lot. I mean, a lot of luggage. We had so much stuff, and the souvenirs was piling up, and we always plan on shipping stuff back. In fact, yesterday we just shipped $300 worth of stuff in 3 medium-sized Lowe's boxes back to lighten our load because we're so sick we can't handle it. They've been burning stuff over there. This is a sacrificial place. Where was I at? So, yeah. So earlier in the week they had said if you need assistance, there's 3 loading zones or three unloading times. It's, I'm trying to remember the right sequence. Brown goes first, like 8:30 to 9. Green goes second from 9 to 9:30, and then red goes last, 9:30 to 10. And I said, well, let's pick the one in the middle so there won't be a big rush. So we picked green. It's going to be, and they told us it wound up being, we would be disembarking at 9:20. And not only was there 3 colors, there was 3 numbers. We were green 2. It was green 1, 2, and 3. We were green 2. Well, they come on Saturday morning and said, Group 2. I know, he didn't say green, did they? Said, Group 2, you may now begin disembarking. And it was 7:45, I think, when they said that. And I said, really? They must be really getting off early, like we got on so quick. So we went out there, come to find out, nobody had told us. We even had the little stickers where you went to get the stickers on the boat. There was only 3 colors. There was, at my count, there was 9 colors. And each one of those colors had 3 numbers. And when you're walking by, they're saying, oh, come on, thank you for coming with us. We love you on our boat. We love you on our boat. This way, this way, this way, this way. And then all of a sudden we're at a place and they said, what are you doing here? I said, we're green 2. Well, y'all not supposed to be here for 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I looked around and there's flags everywhere, big old banners. There's a black one, there's a purple one over there, there's a pink one, a yellow one, a gray one. There's all kind of colors. I'm like, what in the hell? And there was like 2 or 3 chairs over here that flipped off of the wall, little drop down chairs. They said, y'all have to sit over there. Well, apparently we wasn't the only ones. So there was suddenly a group of about 12 or 15 people there. And then the whole time we sat there for 1 hour and 15 minutes, that group would grow sometimes up to 100 people. And it'd be a big clog of people right there. And I'm like, I got my mask on and I'm facing the wall. And, I'm trying to be nice here. So we sat there a while. Then we finally got out of there. So then we finally made it to the car rental. Went to the car rental, and the lady said, oh, you're 1.5 hours early. I had a car rental for 11 o'clock, but for some reason we must have got out quicker than I thought we would have even after we sat there for 1 hour and was about dead. That was the only place in the terminal that had a place to sit too, was those 4 or 5 little flip downs. If we'd have been sitting where the green bags was being brought out, we'd have been sitting on the floor, which eventually happened later at the car rental place. But the car rental lady said we wasn't ready for 1.5 hours, and there was this is something they don't have in Canada. I'm going to retire and become a bench salesman. There's no benches in Canada. There's a lot of old people there, so I don't understand why there's no benches. Let's walk down here in this zombie camp and let y'all look around at that. See what y'all think of this. Does it not look like they come down here at night and just party it up and kill people? I mean, look at this. This creepy source here now. There's some crazy things been going on up in here. Now, you don't want to come down here at night. I hadn't even told y'all about the homeless population I seen in Vancouver. That's the scariest homeless drug addiction place I've ever seen was Vancouver. They've got Seattle beat, they've got San Francisco beat, they got Atlanta beat. I've seen a lot of rough looking areas. Vancouver's got a side, and every taxi driver says, y'all don't go over there, don't go there. They warn you it's so bad. They have been burning stuff on these trees. I can't believe these trees haven't burned down. I don't know if y'all can see that, but these are burn marks and where they've cut limbs on. There's a lot of craziness going on down here at night, folks. You do not want to be down here. And probably if I don't watch out, I'll be finding needles and stuff. How did I get over here? It's creepy, I tell you. So, where was I? So, didn't have the car ready. I'm getting really close to the second worst thing that happened to us on this trip. Didn't have our car ready, so we had to go sit on the cement floor because there was no benches for 1.5 hours. Went back to check and they said, yeah, we got it. Go down there and meet our associate in parking level 2. So said, take that elevator. We went and took an elevator. Well, the first elevator that she pointed to took us up into the fancy motel that was there, and we got off on the next floor up. There was no steps around. We couldn't go back down, and we had all our stuff. We couldn't go down the steps. We needed an elevator. It took another 15 minutes for that elevator to come back and pick us up again. Then we got back out of the parking garage. We went back down to found a parking garage elevator that she didn't tell us to take that second group of elevators that wasn't seen from where she was pointing. Took that down, Nobody there. We stood there. Said, well, where the heck do we go? We come out. There's nobody here. A guy comes driving up in a newer looking car, and he says, yeah, this is your car here. He says, but it needs to be fueled up. I got to take it to a gas station. I'll be gone in about 20 minutes. And I'm like, really? Okay. And again, we're down in a parking garage, and there's no place to sit there. So we're sitting on the curb with taxi cab drivers in Vancouver. They drive way worse than the ones in London, England. And those guys really zip it around. Well, Vancouver's singular. They zigzag. They come flying in there like race car drivers or something. It's just crazy. Oh, here's some of them flowers. Let me turn this around. See if I can get some of these flowers here for you. I don't know if y'all can see that. These are pretty little flowers here. So anyway, so we had to wait what he said was 20 minutes. That turned into about 45 more minutes. So we're sitting there, and we look so pitiful at this point. Some woman comes out, nice lady, walks over and says, are y'all okay? And I said, yeah, we're just waiting on our rental car to come back. He had to go get gas. So that happened, and he comes back. We get the car rental. Okay, now y'all need to pay attention. You got your popcorn. Come back. Here comes the second biggest highlight of our trip so far. We've had some doozies. So then we get the car. We make our way out of Vancouver. And might I point out, from Vancouver to the U.S. border, it takes an hour at least. You know, it was a good hour's drive. So we got all the way to the border, and there's like 7 or 8 lanes wide. You know, you done in here, there's bars all over the place. You can't do a U-E, nothing. And there's a big sign that says have all your documents and paperwork ready. So I got my passport out. Wife got her passport out. I went to get my driver's license. The lady at the rental place, when she run a copy of my credit card and my driver's license, had left my driver's license on her little printer. And I was so sick, I didn't say, where's my driver's license? I just signed all the papers, and we walked out the door. Drove an hour to the border guard, and I didn't know if we was going to get across the border or not without a driver's license. I said, well, let's don't pull out our driver's license. Let's just try a passport. And they ask you all the questions. What are you here for? What did you buy? What are you doing? And it was pretty quick. And he said, okay, have a nice trip. So we pulled through. I said, well, first thing we got to do is drive till we do a turnaround. And we got to go back through the Canadian border and see those guys. I don't know if I can get over here or not. Let's see. And I asked my wife, because she don't like to drive on an interstate, which is kind of what the Vancouver road was. And she don't like to drive in a city, which is what Vancouver was. Oi! I made it over, y'all. I'm still alive so far. So anyway, look, a lot of bad things happen down in here at night. I'm starting to wonder if there's anybody going to start jumping out of trees and skinning me. So, my wife got us across the border. We went to the Canadian side. We actually explained to him, well, you left our credit card there, is what didn't say driver's license. He left that, said, oh, okay. So he was nice enough to let us go. Got through again, drove all, and then she pulled over. I jumped in. I drove the rest of the way. Here's our little river with briars and stuff everywhere. There were some big boy briars. If one of them gets you, you would just have to live in agony for the rest of your life. It almost blew on me. Yeah, these boys ain't been trimmed in some time, like never. So, we need to start making our way out of here, because this story should probably be coming to an end most any time now. Whoa, a bunny rabbit. Hey, bunny rabbit. Hey, bunny rabbit, where you at? Hey, bunny rabbit. That's a baby bunny rabbit. He's probably got rabies. I'll get bit by the bunny rabbit with rabies, or his mama's fixed to jump on my head and eat me for breakfast. Yeah, I probably need to be getting out of here. Still, I don't even know what kind of beer that is, or whatever that was. I saw a baby bunny rabbit on my video, and y'all got to see it too, I hope. So, I got my credentials, we got back across the line. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, we made it back across the U.S. border. While we was crossing into the U.S. border, we was in the next to the outside lane, and the guard comes out there and shuts the outside lane down just so all those people would have to merge into our lane. So that made it take us twice as long to get back through. It was a slow process each time in the line, but as far as going through the actual guy asking us questions, we did pretty good each time. So anyway, let me start working my way out of here over this giant log. I just crossed that, folks, with a backache. It's not wanting to turn. I just stepped across that giant log. Look at me go. We didn't do everything we wanted to do yesterday. I spent a lot of money on those tickets. The biggest sad thing of the whole thing is I didn't get to see my daughter. I'm really sad and bummed out about that. I wanted to see her. Now, albeit this is June, next April there's a wedding in Seattle. That's my son, because he's moving to Seattle. I probably won't get to see him before he moves now. If you think about this, he's moving like the first week of August or the last week of July, I can't remember. He's moving to Seattle. His wife just finished her residency, and she's got a doctor job over here, and they're moving over here, and they're getting married in April. So we'll be back for the wedding. Hopefully we won't jinx everybody on that, and hopefully I'll make it back for that. We shall see. And we still have a funny place for a water meter, ain't it? Out here. This is a sketchatory place right here. I mean, you just wouldn't want to hang out here late at night. No, you wouldn't. That's some of the tales. I even skipped over the part where I was up $300 the first night at the casino, and the casino only pays out the first night there at sea to make you think you're doing good. I think by the time I left the boat, I probably did break even, but that first night I put $40 in there and could have walked away with $300, but instead I walked away with $186, and I was feeling pretty good about myself. That never happens. Not that we're big time gamblers, but we do every now and then. But anyway, that is that, and that's most of the bad things I can think of right now. A bit of quietness there, folks. It was getting a little sketchy, just a little bit. Let's pause out here for a moment and look. Whew. Oh, my! Any moment, y'all hold tight. Could be being followed, I'm not sure. To find out how fast this old man can run. I'm getting my face all cough on him. That's my defense mechanism. This is train station that way. That's very misleading, isn't it? It is. Well, do thank y'all for joining me on this little talk session adventure. And back over there at that, coming across that bridge, are still being followed. I'm still gonna have to keep it going here, y'all. Hang with me. I ain't losing this camera. It's the second one. Y'all gonna have to have a knife or a gun to get this damn thing. Stepping up that pace I am. Y'all can see my killers behind me. Y'all find this video, y'all zoom in, make a bigger copy, and that's who killed me. I get to this corner, I'm going to turn and take another look. But this DJI does not zoom real good like this, boys. No, it don't. What you see, DJI, I can't look. Alright, let's turn that baby back around. Flip it. Oh, where those guys went? Honestly, I don't care. 4 a.m. That is